Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ladies Power Lunch. So glad you could join us. I have a wonderful, wonderful guest here with us today. We've been talking about collaboration for the last couple of weeks now, and Olympia is here to share with us her experiences with collaboration. Olympia, welcome. Would you share with our guests who you are and what it is that you're doing in the world?
Yes, thank you. It's so good to be here. I'm Olympia Hostler. My company is Women Choose Wealth. And what I do is I unshackle women business owners so that they can make more money, have more freedom, and work less.
I think they're all gonna be objecting to that. Nobody wants to have more freedom, make more money, and work less. That's you're not talking to the right audience, clearly.
And do it with more fun.
Fun, oh my
Uh,
goodness. Especially now, I feel like we could all use a little bit more fun. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
Ah,
I've been doing that as much as possible. It makes me feel so much better when I like create little games or interactions or just be playful with people.
yes, I love that. Love that so much. So we're here today to talk a little bit about collaboration because you are an expert collaborator. You've had some really great experiences that you're going to share with us today. But just to get started, tell me, when you think collaboration, that word, what comes to mind for you?
What comes to mind is doing things together and supporting each other and really having the back of the other person you're in a collaboration with. What I've seen in the business environment, and I've been in business after my corporate career for over 25 years, I've seen a lot of people say the word collaboration and even pretend that they are collaborating, when in fact, it's been my experience that about 90% of the alleged collaborations are really not collaborations. It's more of a one-way street for one person disguised as, oh, let's do work together. So for me, I have a very high standard for collaboration, which is, hey, we're actually doing something together. And I'm doing something, I'm doing my part, I'm supporting you, you're doing your part, you're supporting me. And together, we are going to rise and shine. It's 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 fun, but it's also just really fulfilling to know that whoever it is that you've chosen to be in collaboration with is actually there for you, right? And they have your best interest in mind. It's not just, oh, I'm going to send you a referral here or there. No, I don't consider those real collaborations. It could be a referral partner, but that's not a real collaboration.
I love that you've really pinpointed this because this is something that is a sticking point for me. It's like a really, really important thing to talk about. In our group, Ladies Power Lunch, we have one rule and one rule only. And how could we just have one rule? But we really only have one rule, and that it is that we intentionally support each other. Because there are lots of people who say, oh, yes, I totally support you, and it is, like you said, a one-way street where it's just business coming to them, but there is no reciprocation. And if we're talking collaboration, then both parties have to be benefiting. I absolutely, absolutely agree with that. So thanks for bringing that point up. So we like to talk a little bit about pros and cons of collaboration. I mean, you're an expert collaborator. So you said you've been doing this for 25 years. When you think about collaborations, what are some of the reasons that people should really be thinking about going into a collaboration? What could the benefit possibly be for them?
One of the huge benefits is that you get to be, how should we say, like promoted by someone else. It's like an endorsement, so to speak.
Mm.
When the other person who you're in the collaboration with speaks for you, it's like a referral or an introduction. They are really valuing you, and because they value you, when they're sharing you with their audience, or with their other people who are in their little black book, so to speak. You know, maybe they're making an introduction for you to be a speaker on the same event that they're going to be at. Well, their name is really being out on the line for you. And in that way, it also elevates you in the eyes of whoever they are referring you to, or working together, if you're working together on a project. So one of the biggest pros is that, and by doing that, you also get a huge, expansive reach to more people than you would have had you just gone on your own. So it's like you're both in a boat and you're being lifted together. Like everything rises with the tide. And other communities have known this for years. Like, for example, Jewish communities, they work together. If you want to talk about collaboration, those people work together. I've dated several Jewish men, and that's how I know this, is they intentionally help each other and work within their communities and do business with each other and open doors for each other. So it's that leverage of resources that you could never get on your own. I mean, you could get, as far as you're going to get on your own, but when you're going with someone else who really is a good partner, you're going to get there faster and with more fun.
Yeah, you get there faster, you get there with more fun. I think that's wonderful. And there are people out there, though, who they really do shy away from getting involved with a collaboration. What do you think is the reason? What do you think is holding people back?
I think it's several reasons. One is the sense of competition that is rampant. And so they think that, and that's really a scarcity mentality and programming. So there's only enough for a limited amount of people, enough whatever, money, clients, work. And so they don't want to do that. Another one would be that they have been burned by collaborations in the past. I was in that category. I still kept trying though, thank goodness. And because I do have I have great collaborations, but I choose my collaboration partners very, very carefully.
So, what goes into choosing a collaboration partner for you?
It's going to take, to really have that deep level of connection, it's a relationship. So relationships are built over time. There's no shortcutting the time. That being said, it's kind of like you're interviewing each other in the beginning. So you've met this person, or they've come, highly recommended to you. Have conversations, really get to know the person, because what you're really relying on a lot is their values. What do they value? And is that similar to you and your values, irregardless of what business you're in? And if you have a good values match, and I'm talking about some values like loyalty, like community, like compassion. These are some of the top values that I look for, as well as somebody who is settled and confident in who they are, so that they won't, flee when the going gets tough, or they won't backstab. You need to know the character of the person and have conversations. If you're close enough, and maybe in non-COVID times, have a lunch with them, or have a Zoom lunch,
Zoom, right?
a Zoom lunch with them. Just really get to know them before you go in, because if you, I mean, it's just the type of deep level collaboration that I love and that I'm talking about is going to take a little bit of time to develop with that person. Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, maybe you know someone already who you already, have a relationship with, and you've never thought of them as a potential collaboration partner. Mm-hmm. So you're further down the road because you already know the person. Then you can start from there and explore the opportunities for a collaboration.
Yeah, those are some good suggestions. So you've had so many experiences over the years with collaboration. Tell us a story about a time when it all just went really well. Everything gelled and this collaboration was like sent from up above. Tell us about that.
That one is my all-time favorite, and it's ongoing now, I'm happy to say. It's with my dear friend Ann Bennett. So
I
we
know
met,
Anne.
you know, Ann?
Yes, she's
That's
been on
right.
our show. I think you were the one who actually introduced me to Anne.
I did. See, there's collaboration at work right there. That's one example. Ann and I have formed a collaborative partnership with the intention of really helping each other. So sometimes we will help each other, even if in a traditional sense it might seem like that would be a maybe a conflict of interest, or maybe, you know, we would promote the other person for a spot that we might be competing for, like on a stage or something. It doesn't matter. We work so closely. We talk frequently, almost daily. I'm not going to say daily, but almost daily. We check in. We're a support system for each other in addition to the collaboration. We talk about how our day's been going. We talk about what we want to happen, what challenges have happened. We help each other solve the problem. So it's that level plus the level of she and I share resources like knowledge. We help each other. She's a branding expert. I'm a business consultant, and I actually have a program that I'm starting called Collaborative Lead Generation. And so we help each other. We teach each other what our expertise is so that we can lift each other up. And as we do that, we help each other, but we also are helping the other person to understand more about how we do what we do and what we do and experience that magic so that they are so much more of a better collaboration partner. So we do things like refer people to speaking engagements, to podcasts. We make introductions. We refer clients. We do joint ventures together. Like I can't think of anything we haven't done in the realm of collaboration, other than we haven't been in a LinkedIn pod together. So we really just have the other person top of mind. So for example, when I'm speaking to someone, let's just say speaking opportunity, I'm speaking to someone about being on their event as a speaker, my wheels are already turning. How can I get Anne introduced to this person? How can I do that? Like that is on the same level with me getting that opportunity.
You know what's amazing about that, Olympia? Because I know you're not just talking the talk. I've seen you walk that walk because that's how I got to meet your collaboration partner in the first place. You and I were talking about having you on my show, and the very next thing out of your mouth was, let me introduce you to somebody who's also going to be a great addition to your show. And we've had her on, and she is amazing. We absolutely adore her. So you weren't wrong in that. Tell me
Yeah,
a little bit about, though, a time when the collaboration just did not go well. Because I know that the nice ones are great, but the ones that don't go so well, we learn a whole lot from them.
that's right. So this one will be anonymous.
It's okay. We'll protect the guilty.
Anonymous. So I was looking for someone to do something like I do with Anne. And so I found a person, and I mean, I did vet her with the usual vetting. It seemed like it was a go. It seemed like we had a values match. Um, and I really believe that her intentions were good. I don't think that she was, a bad person, or, trying to get one over on me. I don't think that was the case at all. I think it was more a case of, let's say, like disorganization, not taking action, not having the being true to her word, because we would go along and we try to do all these things I mentioned that I have with Anne. And so I booked a speaking gig. We were doing some joint speaking, and I actually booked 4 of them for us. And then the next thing I know, one of the persons who was having the event, when I was calling to confirm it, she said, "Oh no, you're not going to be speaking on that one. Just this other person is." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, I booked that for us." And she says, "No, I spoke to that other person and now it's just her. You'll have to talk to her." And so I'm like,
Oh,
"Ooh, that's not good." But then the other part of where the collaboration just really went off the rails was, we'd talk about what I'm going to do, what she's going to do, because there's some planning involved too, as well as the impromptu. And, I'll do this, you do that. Like, for example, I would have my VAs, I'm paying my VAs to do market research, to reach out, to find people, to do all of this work. And then she was supposed to do not the same thing, but other things that would have like equal weight and value. And they never got done. They
so
just
she
never
wasn't
got done.
pulling her weight, basically.
Right.
Hmm.
And yet she had time to check in with me quite frequently to make sure that I was doing what I was told, or what I committed to, not what I was told, what I committed to. And she never did. And I'd ask her, "Oh yeah, I'm going to get around to that." Or, "Oh, I told my assistant to do that." Or, but yet it never got done. And it came to the point where I just said that, this is not a collaboration. This is a Olympia helps this other person situation, which I'm all for helping people, but not if we're supposed to be, in this collaboration, we need a two-way street.
Yep, if you're gonna help somebody, that needs to be known upfront.
Yeah.
And you know that you know that's what you're doing and that is the expectation. But in my upcoming book, Smarter Not Harder, I talk a little bit about because I'm super nerdy, Olympia. You may not have figured that out about me yet, but I
I
really
love it.
am. And I talk a little bit about ecology, and the different types of relationships that you have in nature. And there's one called parasitism,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to pick out who are those energy vampires in your life and kind of remove them, that's a skill that I think we all need to have. So awesome. Thank
Okay.
you so much for sharing that. I'm going to ask you to share with us before we wrap up one more story. Have you ever had a collaboration that was unusual, unexpected? You never thought this could possibly be a collaboration, but then it just out of nowhere.
Yep. This is actually a new one that is, we're just getting our sea legs here, but this is a lady who is in a high level businesswomen's group that I belong to. And we've known each other for several years and we're always, pleasant. And, it's all been via Zoom, even before the COVID. And, I've always liked her and respected her, but she did the same thing that I did. Like, she's another business consultant. I'm a business consultant. And so, I've wanted to talk to her just because she's a lovely person. And I was just thinking, gosh, there was a way that I could work with her because I really respect her. Um, but the opportunity just hadn't happened. But then we were in a Zoom meeting. This was probably about a month and a half ago. And I brought up that now I'm doing collaborative lead generation as one of the specialties within my consulting practice. And she brought up that she's doing something new. She's creating a course on pricing and she's creating a course on, what was the other course? On sales. And then I brought up that I'm also have this course on the Mind Over Money Makeover, which is all about clearing the the money blocks that people have, this self-sabotaging program, so that then they can actually start to make more progress in their business. So then I started thinking, oh my God, this could be a way for us to collaborate. I could promote her classes. She could promote my classes, just for that portion of the business.
Sure.
Not her entire business and not my entire business. And so we've really just started that, but I feel like um, she's a very, how should we say it, like true to her word. Like she has a
Yes.
lot of integrity and she's an action taker
Integrity.
and she's going to do her part. I do my part, and then whatever the results are, we've we've set our intentions, and they're going to be great.
Excellent. I love that story. I have had a similar story in our ladies power lunch group because our group is we don't care if there are 500 business strategists in the group. It doesn't matter to us because we really really do not believe that competition is a real thing. We do believe that it is a mental construct. And it was really interesting. This was back when we used to meet in person. There were three women who used to come to our meetings religiously. Like they would not miss a meeting. But all three of them did website development. That was their business. Come
Mm-hmm.
to find out, when they sat and they talked to each other, if I'm remembering this correctly, one of them loved the coding part. One of
Mm-hmm.
them loved the SEO piece, and the other one was adoring the social media part. Do you know
Mm-hmm.
these three women got together in a business and actually ended up growing their reach and growing their income as a result of working together as opposed to deciding that, oh, we all do the same thing, we're going to get in a competition. So I just love that your example of a business that collaboration that went well, that was unexpected, is actually with somebody who does something very similar to you. That is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Awesome. Do you have anything that's coming up soon that you might want our listeners to know about? Any courses or any holiday gifts or anything that you might want to share with our community?
I do. I have a couple of things. So I'm starting a pilot program for collaborative lead generation, and it is going to start in December. So if anybody's interested in that course, we're going to be doing it together. Obviously, the collaborative lead generation course will be done collaboratively.
Of course.
Hello. It's a new concept. So if you're interested in that, you can send me either an email at olympia@womenchoosewealth.com, or you can Facebook Messenger me. And then the other thing I'm starting also in December is a pilot program for, it's going to be 6 weeks long, and it is for action takers. This is to grow your business by about $20,000 to $25,000 in that time frame. We are going to be super hyper focused on getting your offer tightened up, your target market tightened up, and then off we go with some systems and some practices to get you connected with your clients and making sales.
I
So
like the practical piece. I really, really do. Would you be kind enough to post the information below in the chat, both here on our Facebook group and also in our YouTube channel? That would be
sure.
awesome. That way, our viewers and our listeners can have the chance to connect with you that way. This has been such a great conversation, Olympia. Thank you so much
You're
for
very welcome.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us today. And ladies over there on Facebook and anybody who's watching on the replay or listening to us on our podcast, thank you so much for joining us today. We continue with the rest of this month talking about collaboration conversations. I just want to give you a little sneak peek about what's coming up in December. We actually are going to be talking success stories. So we're looking for women who have had success even when things don't look great. I think we could all use some good news. We could all stand to hear some great stories right about now. And of course, as I mentioned before, we're coming out with Smarter Not Harder. We're going to be doing a little book study together in December, and we're launching that book in January. So look out for that. If you want to be a part of that, you can just reach out to us and we'll be happy to include you in whatever it is that's going on. Olympia, thanks again for joining us. Thanks everybody for watching, and y'all have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.